Okay, so Dynamite is tonight. I'm actually recording this on Tuesday night. Excuse the hair. It is a fucking heat wave over here. It's ridiculous. This is post-shower hair, Bob. Shut up. Yeah, stacked ass Dynamite. Obviously, the go home for Forbidden Door. Let's get into it because I feel like this is going to be one of the better Dynamites we've had in a while, and it's been on a good run mostly. So let's talk about it because the show with full cards out. Let's talk about it. Oh, our first match is actually a tag team match. It's between the Young Bucks versus TMDK, which is Bad Dude Tito, and I actually don't know the other guy's name yet. Been trying to find it, I just don't know who his name is. This will be fun. Obviously, this helps build Kenny's match for, obviously Forbidden Door against Zack Sabre Jr. I would have rather they've done, again, I've said this multiple times, the Elite as Kenny and the Bucks versus just full TMDK trio. That made more sense to me, but what do I know? This I'm looking forward to. Obviously, Bad Dude Tito I've only seen a small amount of, but he looks really good. And obviously, the Bucks, we all know how good the Bucks are. I'm looking forward to this. I hope this gets a good amount of time, admittedly. I hope this isn't just quite a short match. I know the Bucks can do whatever, but I don't know. I just feel like the Bucks, I like these sorts of matches. These are fun. Obviously, get to learn about new wrestlers. I've got a feeling in this one, I think the Bucks probably should win. I don't know if they will, but I feel like because it is obviously going into, Forbidden Door, it's a bit harder to call. So it's like you have TMDK just win because, we'll talk about Forbidden Door predictions later in the week. But obviously, I don't know which way this goes. I'm going to just say the Bucks win. I think the Bucks will win, but obviously it's a lot more build. I hope they actually, have a fun match here. I think they will, obviously, but either way, I'm looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing more of TMDK because they seem pretty cool. Next, we actually have two of our TBS Championship Eliminator qualifying matches. The first one I'm really excited for. We have Red Velvet versus Queen Aminata. Now, we haven't seen Aminata on AEW TV in a while, and she's pretty good. I really like Aminata, especially with... as soon as Aminata returned, they kind of just didn't do nothing with it, and I always thought, well, that's a bit odd, especially when you've got Tekla as world champ. Like, frankly, I'm surprised she wasn't in the Owen, because that was the feud. Everyone knows the Tekla and Aminata feud was the feud. Red Velvet I actually like. I think she's not awful. She's definitely got good strike, and that's about it. She had that match with Monet a while ago, and that was really good, but again, it's Monet. I expect Red Velvet to actually win this. Admittedly, it should be Aminata. I wouldn't be against it being Aminata, but I think it will be Velvet. And I don't know, actually, no, it should be... you know what? No, I tell a lie. I think it's going to be Aminata, because it should be Aminata. Because I feel like they just need to, frankly, get something going with Tekla and Aminata. And I think you just got to kind of commit to Aminata on the main roster again. Well, the main roster, AEW roster instead of Ring of Honor again. Because Aminata's great. That run she had before she got injured was absolutely great. That was solidifying her start. And frankly, Tekla was very solidified from that point on. Tekla had a bit more stock, but I feel like Tekla's moved on from that much, and I don't think Aminata's had that yet. So I hope Aminata needs that push, because that's what she deserves. She's a great wrestler, and again, the stuff with Tekla alone is stellar. So I'd like to see that get reignited. But I'm looking for this match will be fun. I think either way, I like Red Velvet. This match will be fun. I imagine it to be very hard hit and striking wise, but I think Queen Aminata will win. Definitely solidify her her place for the TBS Championship match. So, our second match for our TBS title match, Eliminator, is, qualifier, whatever. It is Harley Cameron versus Marina Shafir. Now, I cannot stress how important this is to me, and me alone. Do not have Harley Cameron win this. No. I like Harley. I think Harley's entertaining. I think Harley's come on a hell of a lot. But you've committed to a presentation of Marina Shafir, where Marina Shafir in one-on-one matches shouldn't really be losing. Not like that. Not to someone who's constantly played as inexperienced like Harley Cameron is. It's just not the call. It's got to be Marina for me. I understand we've had some shocks and upsets, obviously, with Maya World and stuff. I'm not into this one. I feel like Harley's presented as an underdog. And against Marina Shafir, that would be an underdog kind of story, but I just feel like Marina Shafir's been on a hell of a run. Her having gold herself would really solidify that. But even then, if you have Marina Shafir go into a multi-man match, or multi-woman match, more rather, she gets more of an excuse to lose that. But it just makes... For me, Marina Shafir's got to win that. I know you can kind of... If you have Harley win it, I assume Harley will win the entire thing. So, I don't know, but point is, I think Marina should win this. I'm not of the opinion Harley should win. Not against Harley. We like Harley Cameron here. I just feel like you gotta put it to a point. Marina Shafir's presentation to me is more important than Harley Cameron's. Harley Cameron's very much touch and go. Marina Shafir's been great, and for me, you've really solidified, especially in the men's division with the Death Rider stuff, how much of a force she is. So if you want to kind of go back on that, maybe, but for me, I'd be having Marina Shafir winning this quite comfortably too, really quite comfortably. After this, we actually get Jungle Jack Perry versus Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously, this is, to help build up for Forbidden Door. Zack Sabre Jr. will win this quite well. There is a whole thing with Jack Perry, which I was going to make a rambling about Jack Perry, and I still want to, so I probably will do that for this week. But I do think there's a lot of, obviously, conversation about Jack Perry's contract, and a lot of people think this could be the way out. I think Zack Sabre Jr. will beat Jack Perry quite brutally. I think Zack Sabre Jr. running an injury angle with Jack Perry, maybe, and then I don't think Jack Perry will leave, admittedly, I don't, but I feel like if they'd done that with Jack, and they hurt Jack, and then Kenny comes out to make save, that's your excuse to have them out. I don't think TMDK will attack, maybe. I just don't see that personally, but I just feel like you gotta have something. I think Zack, supposedly breaking his arm or some shit, something like that, like an injury sort of angle. The match itself, I think, will actually be, it's a stack card, and there's a match later that is, in my opinion, probably going to be match of the night. I wouldn't be surprised if this is. Zack Sabre Jr. obviously technically is incredible with the holds, and Jack Perry's athleticism is incredible too. So I feel like that's just going to be a matchup I'm really going to enjoy. It might not be the best match ever, but I think I'm going to really enjoy this match. Debatably going to be my match of the night. I think the other match, which if you've seen the card, you're probably going to guess, but that's probably going to be my match tonight. But this is very much a highly anticipated match for me. Zack Sabre Jr. is great. I hope they don't play it too short just to have Zack have a dominating win. I hope they actually give this match its own kind of identity and let it do its own thing. I don't know if they will, but in my opinion, they should. But either way, this match, honestly, I'm really looking forward to. I think this match could be one of the better matches of the night. Zack Sabre Jr. to win, obviously Kenny to have an involvement after it. That makes sense to me. But this, I'm looking forward to this one a hell of a lot. After this, we actually have a fucking big match, which I didn't expect to get this. We're getting Will Ospreay versus ELP from New Japan. Now, I've only seen one match of ELP, and I think it was against Takeshita, and that was great. I really liked him there. I think this was, I don't think it was Wrestle Kingdom. I forget what it was. It was one of the New Japan pay-per-views this year, and it was really good. I think it was for the TV belt. I think that's where he won the TV belt, Takeshita. But this match, from what I've seen at ELP there, it was great. And Ospreay, obviously, on the form he's on, that's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to this. Ospreay's going to be a bit more brutal, obviously, to kind of build that up. I hope they give ELP a bit more time. Hope this actually means something for ELP on Forbidden Door. Actually, I feel like we could get, some 0-hour stuff announced. I feel like we're definitely lacking. I think we've only had one 0-hour match announced, and that's the women's tag. So I feel like we could definitely do a bit more there. But either way, this Ospreay, obviously, Death Rider is what I'm really into. ELP getting some time there. It's a bit out of nowhere of a match, but Forbidden Door season, this is a Forbidden Door type of match, and I'm really happy with that. This is fun. This is a fun match. This is not like a, one of those matches where it needs a massive build. It's just one of those matches where it's like, let's just get two ballers and just let them hoop. You know what I mean? That's what I like, and I like this. I like that I think of this match. I think Ospreay will win, obviously, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully, a lot of people who have never seen ELP before can get to experience how really good he is, because even though I've only seen a limited amount, he's very, very good. After this, we're going to talk about a match again, which I think is going to be straight heat. We're going to get Swerve Strickland versus Daniel Garcia. This fucks. This is going to be great. I love that they're giving Danny Garcia some single matches in the Death Riders, and I hope Swerve will win. But I think Danny Garcia will put up more of a fight than people realise. I really like that. Obviously, there should be some bit of shenanigans. But I feel like, obviously, with the Death Rider stuff with Will Ospreay leading Forbidden Door with Swerve. But Danny Garcia, he is no slouch. Let's not forget how good Danny Garcia is in ring for me. Against someone like Swerve as well. I think Swerve's going to absolutely brutalise him as well, by the way. I think Swerve's going to near enough just destroy him. And bear in mind, all the Death Riders besides Pac are inactive tonight. So that's really good. But Jesus, this is going to be some match. I really do feel like this is going to be a quality match. Same level as Jack Perry and Sabre Jr. I hope they give this one time, because I don't think this match is this card's an extended card, because it is, I'm sure it's still for 2 hours, not 3. Wouldn't surprise me how stacked it is, to be honest. But I do feel like this is going to be I don't think a lot of people are going to realise how good this match is going to be. Don't sleep on this one. If they give it time and let Dan and Garcia cook a bit, this will be great. I don't know if they've ever actually fought before, Garcia and Swerve. I'd assume they have. But obviously this will build more with the Ospreay stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Ospreay comes out after it to help Garcia in some way. That makes sense. But either way, this match, I'm looking forward to a lot. This will be a really, really good match. So, after this, we'll be getting what I think will be match of the night easily. We're going to get Konosuke Takeshita defending his AEW International title against Ricochet. This is great. This is really good. This is the exact thing I want from Ricochet. Obviously, a bit more serious. I assume the GOA will be involved in some way with the conglomeration helping them out. That makes a lot of sense to me. Obviously, Takeshita, I assume Takeshita wins. I think this will have future repercussions, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But this match, for me, should be match of the night. These two have obviously ran this back a few times. This is running back of Full Gear. I think it's Full Gear 24, yeah, because that's when Takeshita won it in Wrestle Dream again in that insane triple threat, which was still Takeshita and Ricochet. That was insane. This is going to be next level. This will be match of the night easily for me. Could possibly be one of the matches of TV matches of the year. We're going that level with this in terms of anticipation. Takeshita's on another stratosphere as he has been for a while. There's no better seller in the entire business than Ricochet. Let's get that straight. There's not one. This, I would be surprised if I don't feel the need to make a match ramble on this. I would be very surprised. And like, I've realised, personally, little side tangent, this, like, a match ramble and a match on Dynamite is very much a high level of, like, regard for me. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's, like, one of the best matches I've seen in a while. And I really want to talk about it, so that's something I would be expecting from the anticipation. I might be overhyping it. I do not care. This is going to be great. I really cannot wait for this. If you've never seen Ricochet and Takeshita go at it, the stellar matches, this is going to be hopefully on that level. I do think this will have future repercussions. I will talk about that in a minute. But I do think this is going to be really good. Obviously, I do predict Takeshita to win. I hope the match gets time. I would give this at least 10 to 15. I feel like this is good. For me, this should be main eventing. It won't, but for me, it would be. But what to do? This is going to be absolutely electric. I cannot wait for this. This is going to steal the fucking show. Once again, Takeshita proving that he's, in my opinion, the best men's wrestler in the entire fucking world. Next, however, is what I mean by the future repercussions. We're going to be talking about we'll hear from Team NJF, which is obviously MJF, Kyle Fletcher, Jake Doyle, Kazuchika Okada, Kevin Knight, and Andrade La Sombra. And obviously, we'll also hear from Team Mark Briscoe, which is Briscoe, Conglomeration, which is Cassidy, Roddy, and Kyle, and also Takeshita and Darby. Now, like I said with the previous segments, I feel like these are going to apparently be two separate segments. They're going to probably interchange, or probably just be backstages. I do feel like we're going to get changes to the teams. I feel like we might even get additions in terms of the numbers might not just be 5-on-5. It might be a bit more, but I feel like we're going to get changes. I think Jake Doyle is going to be substituted out because obviously he hurt Max last week. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. And I think, personally, they're going to run an angle where someone, I don't know if it's going to be Darby or what, I feel like someone's going to get taken out of that match for Briscoe. I don't know, I think the ones who I'm calling it are between either I don't think it'll be Cassidy, I think it'll either be Roddy, or, I don't know who it could be, honestly I don't. But point is, I feel like Ricochet is going to end up on Team MJF for Jake Doyle. I feel like that makes the most sense. And if they extend the numbers, the GOA there too, and make it a 7-on-7. And if they can do that, obviously, you know, you can get, honestly, a fucking Takeshita's team. I don't know who the fuck you get at that point, but Briscoe's team, because you can just add numbers to Ishii. That should be in there. I said this, I would have said Mystico. I've said Mystico before the teams were announced. That would felt like the easiest fucking thing you could have done. But obviously, he's got a match now on Forbidden Door, which is good. Obviously, happy to see Mystico. I think we could get additions. I think Jake Doyle's out. Not the problem with Jake Doyle. I just think they're going to play into that. Max going, you're out. You hurt my ass. And then, you know, Ricochet coming in. Obviously, Ricochet with the Max link through Don Callis. Stuff like that. And obviously wanting to get revenge on Takeshita. That would work. That would be very good. I assume we're going to get more tension with Kyle Fletcher and Kevin Knight. That was really explosive. I really enjoy how they just went all in on that. I wouldn't be surprised if Andrade is the one to go out. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of alter changes you can do. I think if they do changes, Trent Barretta's going to try and be like, it's him again. And I feel like that's definitely a say it. Where the fuck is El Con? Get that better man. I'm not El. You ever seen me and El Con in the same room? I'm not saying nothing, but, you know, same body type. hope they're not. But I'm not saying I am El Clan, but I'm not saying I'm not. But for Briscoe, I feel like you could add it. I think she's going to get added. I don't know if that's going to be due to an eliminate, someone getting taken out. Point is, I don't think the teams are solidified. I think they're going to change the teams, and maybe one or two. I think like the solidifiers are obviously Max Briscoe, Takeshita, Kyle, Okada. They're the ones that feel solidified. But I feel like we're going to get the odd person in and out. Who that is from Briscoe's team's a bit more of a struggle because there's that many baby faces you could really pick from. But I feel like you could still do a luchador. You could do fucking Neon, to be honest. That would be a good one. I'd like to see him. Hologram, I don't know where the hell he is, but then that would involve El Clon, which, that on me. But point is, this, I think he'll just be... I think Jake Doyle... I think the big one for me is Jake Doyle's definitely out. I feel like they're just going to run that angle. I think that makes a lot of sense, because he did do well, and you could even replace him with Mark Davis, but I think they might try and run a Mark Davis. You could do that. That's a good idea. You could do Mark... No, because they're still both heels in the family. That doesn't make sense, actually. I was going to say Mark Davis versus one of the GOA. But point is, if they could get the GOA in that match, oh my, that would be stellar. But point is, you could even get people from New Japan, because that's the thing with Briscoe's team. They do feel like they need some people from New Japan and CMLL, admittedly, but mainly New Japan. I'm trying to think of the baby faces you could have. Definitely not Yota Tsuji, God no. But, there's people there. I don't know. But point is, there's some people you could choose from. I don't know who they're going to do. But I think this is going to be really fun. I think there's going to be changes, obviously. Give me my boy, El Clon. However, our main event, as advertised, is going to be the Death Riders, which is John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Yuta, who we haven't seen since he got attacked by Shane Taylor, versus Brody King, obviously the boys, and Mystico, the fucking man, the myth, and the legend. I love Mystico. So, I feel like for this will be fun. This will be fun. I feel like this will obviously set up more of a Skyflight stuff. I feel like if it was up to me, I'd go, fuck it. I'd go, you know what? Let's get... genuinely, let's just go balls to the wall with it. Let's get the Death Riders, Yuta and Claudio, added to that tag match on Forbidden Door, because obviously that's where Dorada and obviously Mystico are having a match against the Bucks, and... is it Shingo and... I forget who it is. It's Shingo and someone else. I forget who it is. You could have done RPG Vice there, by the way, but hey-ho, that would have filled a lot of Forbidden Door. Either way, I think this match is going to be fun. I feel like anytime Mystico and Moxley, that's just something that blows my mind. Everything about this, obviously, Bandito versus Moxley is something that's happened on Forbidden Door. I feel like Moxley... for me, it wouldn't surprise me if Mystico and Brody King got the win and Bandito gets the pin. That wouldn't surprise me. But point is, I feel like the win... I don't know. Moxley feels like he takes... It's weird to have Moxley lose, especially against Brody King last week. And I feel like they could do it again to obviously incentivize the match. But, I don't know. I feel like Moxley winning here would make more sense to me. But it's a go-home. You could obviously see Bandito getting the pin. This match, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it a lot. Obviously, Death Riders, I assume the shenanigans. I wouldn't be surprised if Ospreay gets involved, to be honest. I think this might even end on a hell brawl, but I wouldn't put money on it. Either way, I think this match will be fun. I think Mystico will obviously just do Mystico, Bandito and stuff. But for me, the big goal I would have is get Claudio and Yuta, who are more of an established tag team, into that match on Forbidden Door. That would work. But also... Pac's not there. Maybe Pac and it's Pac and the new global champ. What's his name? I forgot his name. Point is, they could maybe involve, but I doubt it. This will be fun. Bro, by the way, Brody King hasn't got a match with Forbidden Door. That's quite mild. Who's Mystico's tag team partner in New Japan? El Desperado. You give me El Desperado versus Brody King. Oh my god, give me that! Bro, give me that. That feels like a no-brainer. But just get them on the card. Either way, this I enjoy. I think it'll be a good match, whatever. This will be fun. Great go home. So yeah, that's my predictions so far. Do I think anything else will happen? I think we'll hear from Cage and Cope. Obviously, I think that makes a lot of sense. Obviously, they've got that match at Forbidden Door. I feel like the Maya World and Mercedes stuff needs some sort of thing. Maybe they'll build that, obviously, for Collision. So obviously got a lot of stuff for Collision. Tekla with Starlight Kid. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. This is just going to be a lot of build for Forbidden Door. I do think we'll get some 0-hour matches. The big one for me is Mark Davis. Mark Davis having the national belt. I would get that on there, personally. But I feel like we need some reps coming in, mainly from CMLL, because Persephone still hasn't got a match, which she's advertising the poster. I would have Persephone getting a match. Maybe you announce that here. I don't know. I want Persephone on that card. Either way, give me some good shit. This looks great. The card is stacked. I cannot complain. This is going to be a ridiculous night of Dynamite. I cannot wait. So yeah, that's my predictions for Dynamite this week. Let me know what you think of the card. How hyped are you? And what do you think? Who do you think is going to be replaced in Team MJF, if there is going to be any? And who would you have join for either team? That's what I would like to know.